So we'll be coming this way. So now we are driving along the road named after Navai. Alisher Navai. And you can just, and I'll just tell you. You can just see the canal. Just a minute, sorry. You can just see the canal that once divided the city into two parts. So the side where our hotel was located, next to the Amir Timur Park area, was known as the area of independent locality of Russians who got settled at the end of the 19th century. While this side was the old city where the local people lived. And to cross, there was the bridge, and only rich people could cross the other side. The Russians could come, but the ordinary people from this part couldn't enter the territory where Russians got settled.
Right. Beautiful.
And the name of the street that we were driving through, named after Alisher Navai, because, as I mentioned, already in the 6th century BC, the territory of Central Asia was under the control of Persian dynasty of Achaemenids. Such as new building, but built in this in the traditional way. And happily that the heads of the governments of Central Asia decided not to touch this issue, the border issues. Because tomorrow those who are driving, are you driving or taking train?
Train.
So you would not notice it, but if you just, when you look at the map, you will find out that the road going from Tashkent to Samarkand, when you go, it goes and one just piece of Kazakhstan comes into the highway.
Yes.
So you should just drive around it. For example, in Kyrgyzstan, the second biggest town of Kyrgyzstan, Osh, it was an area where mainly the Uzbek people lived, but it was just incorporated into Kyrgyzstan. So this kind of issues probably was intentionally done by the person who just mapped out the territory of Central Asia. And as I just mentioned, the population of Uzbekistan is over 26 million people, with the capital city Tashkent, and the population of Tashkent city is over 2.5, so it's about 2.5 million people, and representatives of different ethnic groups are living in Uzbekistan. So period, no religion. So accordingly, madrasas, mosques, churches were used as warehouses, or were not used at all. So came to very poor condition. And since independence, Uzbekistan government paid great attention to renovations, restorations, and accordingly, the complex to the left side includes some madrasa as well as mausoleum dating to the 16th century, but mainly it's new complex. It was created in 2007. It includes the Muslim Board of Uzbekistan, the committee that controls and regulates the activities of all mosques and madrasas of Uzbekistan, as well as Barakhan Madrasa, Tila Sheikh Mosque, and to the left side also you can just see one of the biggest mosques of Tashkent. So with two minarets, and this is, you can just see the main entrance facade from this side.
Yep.
And it was created next to the holy side, and it's connected with a person who lived in the 10th century, Abu Bakr Muhammad Kafal al-Shashi. Uzbekistan got its independence, so no mosques, no churches. Just with the collapse of the Soviet Union, what had happened, so because of the influence of Russians, for example, the Muslims, for example, joined and did military service in other parts of Russia. So accordingly, for example, my father did military service in Ukraine, and first time when he went there, so he was just given the pork, but he didn't eat. You know, this pork is considered to be the haram food for the Muslims, and they did not eat it. But when he joined, so first he refused, not eating, but later he had to, because the physical training, the cold climates, accordingly they had to do it. At the same time, alcohol. So these things just change the population. So accordingly nowadays in Uzbekistan, for example, people, and at the same time with the stopping any religion, so people would just say, if you just come, are you Christian? The people living on the territory of on the territory of former Soviet Union would just say, they are Christians, they are Muslims, but they are not practicing. But again, with the independence, so they started to revive. So now there is a big number of people who are just coming.
Irina. Oh, very nice. Look.
Ничего, что сюда, это, видимо, какую-то вещь кладут. Интересно.
And then this different things consist of two, it should consist of two doors. It was also taken, so it became the state property. But they didn't know how to use it, and in 1937, the first exhibition of traditional local crafts were held here, and since that time, so it became the Museum of Applied Arts. And later these sides, the right and left side building were just annexed to this building, and now this building works, functions, and